are. Let's see. Here we are. Good morning, everybody. Thanks for tuning in to another episode of The Full-Time Investor. My name is Andy Brenham, aka the Joint Venture Queen. Coming to you again this episode, the second episode of 2020. And my guests this week are the furthest guests I've had from me, even though distance-wise, there's a few things going on. So I'm really excited to be able to share with their story with you today. Jamie and Leslie Collard. Larry, if you're able to bring me. There we are.
How are you?
Good. You guys look so tanned. You're all relaxed, calm.
Yes,
and you're in Morocco.
Yes, we are. Yeah. So we've been, we're actually down here buying real estate, of course. So yeah, it's been, it's a working vacation. It's a really tough life to have to be down here looking at luxury properties on the beach.
Yeah, it's very tough.
Yeah, very tough.
Yeah, you know, and I thank you for taking it for the team there and really your part to pull it up there.
Yeah.
I like that you are sitting down because you look the same size, but although
I'm 4'8" and Jamie's almost 6 feet. So right now we actually look like we're two normal sized people, but I'm actually a 10-year-old in real life. So
I love her. And then I'm sure your son is not going to take after you, probably taking after Jamie in more ways than one. Oh, that's all right. We might have some delay gaps in our internet.
Can you hear us?
Yes, we can hear you now.
Okay, sorry. Yeah, sorry. So you were saying our son is a little bit taller than us now. Yeah.
Yeah, take after me.
Taller than me.
You know what? You guys have a very beautiful story. I need to start off with a big moment of gratitude. You guys are a powerhouse couple in this industry. We've come from the same cloth, learning from the same teachings, and you're such a reliable, resourceful couple that is trustworthy in this industry. And so I'm very grateful for you to be able to invest the way that you are. And I'd love for you to share with everybody who you are with your investor hats on, a little bit of an introduction from your perspective.
Sure. Well, first off, thank you for that. We definitely we have been investing in real estate since 2017. We started by actually it was because we fixed up our personal home prior to that, and I come from a family of contractors, and basically, through my whole life, my dad fixed up our properties and then we'd sell them and we'd move on to the next one. So after we fixed up our personal home, we made quite a bit of money on that. So we just decided that maybe this was something that we needed to look into. And we started with a single family home that we bought in 2017 for $106,000.
Okay.
And then, you know, from there, that actually bought a duplex for us after we fixed that up 2 months later. And we started to just, we did a lot of triplexes and duplexes and fourplexes. And then we decided that we need to step it up a little bit, challenge ourselves. So our first commercial building, go big or home, I guess. And we decided to do a 22-unit building, which it was, now that I think about it, it was a little bit nuts. But it's actually working out really well. And every purchase that we've done so far, every single unit has to be fixed. And that's what we love to do it. So, you know, and we're seeing the return on it. Absolutely, right?
Yeah, it's been working really well for us and some of our investors that work with us.
Yeah.
And we've.
I'm going to remind you, you're in Morocco, so something must be going very well.
Yeah. Yes. And actually, so since we've been investing, we find that we attract other people to talk to us about investing. And I know that you find the same thing. We live and breathe real estate. And about 30 minutes before this call, we had our realtor here from Sotheby's. and the luxury property management company on the island here, and he wants to partner with us in buying several properties on the island. So it's like wherever we go, it's just opportunities, right?
Yeah.
And I mean, you can't turn down an opportunity, can you?
No, but you guys have such a great mindset for that, because some people would say, I'm here on vacation, I don't want to think about home, but you have been able to say, I do what I love and I love what I do. And so that is inspiring, not something that you want to turn off. I mean, you use the word retire, but I bet you are inspired to get up every day, and there's no lack of the amount of hours that you used to trade. You're trading, but yet the reward is a choice of an ending that you're creating. How do you guys set goals? What are some of the ways that you have gone from 2017 to here starting 2020, and in there you did a 22 unit property? Like, that's a significant jump. So what are some of the mindset tricks that you guys have, both individually, but maybe I'd love to hear it as a power couple?
Yeah, Jamie.
So, I mean, we've learned that we just surround ourselves by people that are successful, doing what we're doing. And I mean, you're learning from them even when you're out having dinner and such, right? Like, everything we seem to do now is something to do with real estate.
Yeah.
And we love it. I mean, it's, I also own an automotive repair shop at home that I used to run and operate it, be a mechanic in the shop, but I've kind of backed away from that, hired people to do my job, and just surrounded ourselves with real estate stuff because that's our true passion.
Yep. And I think that I've always been a high achiever, to say the least, right? And I'm a huge workaholic. I never stop working. But the difference now, I think, in our mindset, when we first went into this, it was like, oh, I don't know, like, let's just take a chance. And if it works, it works. If it doesn't, we're young, whatever. It's not going to be the end of the world. End of the world. And then the first one worked, and then the second one worked, and then the last 73 now have worked. So for us, we know we can do anything, and we're lucky enough, I guess, that we are a couple and we do support each other's goals and aspirations, and we have the same ones. But we also know that we're also surrounded by teams. We have our teams of contractors that they fight me tooth and nail on everything, but let me tell you, they are the greatest contractors. They work only for us. We have other investors. If I'm stuck, I have no problem calling anybody and saying, have you had this issue? How did you deal with it? And we do not reinvent the wheel. Jamie and I do not.
Round of applause. I love that.
No way. Like, if somebody else has figured it out, I'm going to do exactly what they've done and move on, because there's so many more goals that I need to hit that if somebody can help me hit one, great. So, and networking, it's great. Networking.
Yeah. You guys have a very powerful network, but you've also created yourself to be somebody that somebody can turn and ask a question to, because you're saying, look, I have to ask questions. So if I'm it for other people, you've created an open door around you that is it's super inspiring to be around. But you've used the word luck twice. You two are people that, we can say luck, or as Oprah describes, it's when opportunity meets preparedness. Yes, aren't you with a gentleman that comes your way, you're creating that opportunity for yourself. You are prepared to be able to act on it. And I mean, that's a great definition of luck in itself.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah. No, it's been great. Honestly, it's been really great. And we really believe that anybody can do what we do. We are not special people, honestly. I was a probation officer, so I was working with youth involved in the justice system, loved my job. I absolutely loved my job, right until the day that I walked away from it in April. Jamie's an auto mechanic. We did not have a network of other investors to talk to prior to this. We didn't even know anybody that was investing in real estate. And we now, sitting here less than 3 years later, have 73 units. And we are buying 2 for sure in Curacao. But I mean, I'm here, so I have to go see more. So I might buy more, you know? I mean, why not?
Especially when you have a partner that walked into your door today, said, let's buy some. That's a good way to be able to start. But you're also, so what do you think is one of the mindset that's like, so some people would say, well, I don't have the education or I don't have the money, you know, whatever it is. You seem to have a mindset of there's no stealing here. So like, you know, what would you say to somebody who's putting excuses in the way, that you guys are obviously able to clear that path and just be able to say anything we come across, we'll get over?
Yeah, so we had some stumbling blocks. I'm not going to say this was smooth sailing. Like, money has been an issue. So we started by using our own personal line of credit. It wasn't even a HELOC, it was just a line of credit, took a chance on it. And that worked out. But then, you know, you run out of money. You only have so many HELOCs and lines of credit when you're starting. So what we ended up doing was realizing that for us, the money that was the challenge was that we didn't need to necessarily use our own money, but we needed to be able to leverage other people's money in an ethical manner. And we needed to really show people that we are people who you can trust.
Oh, yes.
You know, who, if we have investors, we want them to come and see their money at work on our site. Like, that is the biggest, greatest thing for us, is to be able to show people how their money is actually being put to work. Some of the other stumbling blocks that we had around mindset was the naysayers.
Okay.
The naysayers were really bad in our social circle. I mean, every talk to, when we started in real estate, everybody was like, oh, this is a bad time. You know, what if the market crashes? And that really got into our heads a few times, didn't it?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
And now, I mean, we laugh at those people, right? Because we had to become confident in ourselves. So we knew that we had the right education. We knew that we were surrounding ourselves now with better people that had a bigger mindset. And we just had to, you know, be sure of ourselves and know that whatever happened, we still have, you know, we're still married. We still have regular lives. If something went terribly wrong, it doesn't matter. Yeah, right? So
there's a lot of people that talk about your circle of influence, the 5 people that you spend most amount of time with. So it really sounds like you guys, whether you said this out loud or not, but that you kind of evaluated the people that you spent the most time with and was like, so what you're like, oh, that person doesn't believe, they're not supportive. But then you probably went back and went, but I do want to add this person because they're of the same mindset and this person's helped me out. You know, did you do a revamp of your social circle?
It's funny, Mandy, that you say that, because Jamie and I talk about this all the time with people, all the time. I've actually even put it on some of the investor groups and stuff, that was such an important thing for Jamie and I. Do you remember writing it down?
I remember doing it the first time we did, when we took our first training.
Yeah.
Writing that down the first time we'd heard about that. And it totally makes sense. And now that we're not with the same 5 people.
Not at all. No,
not at all.
And we still love everybody that we were friends with. I mean, we are not talking badly about anybody, but now we choose to be in a room with people where Jamie and I might say, you know, okay, so we've done a 22 unit building, now we want a 50. So those people that we spend our time with are going to figure out with us how to do a 50 unit apartment building.
Yeah.
You know, and it's great, because now I went out to dinner with a bunch of other investors just after Christmas, and I am not making this up when I say, as soon as we all sat down together, the first topic was, okay, so what is everybody's goals for 2020?
I know.
Like, it was just like, and that was my aha moment, that we've made it. You know, we have made such a great group of people and friends that support each other, and it's so important.
Yep. Yeah, because, you know, if the first thing that a table that you would have not been inspired to sit at would have been like, oh my gosh, can't believe I have to go back to work, or oh, I don't even want to open my Visa bill, or you know, things like that. Whereas your group was like, hey, so how are we going to get closer to financial freedom, or what does financial freedom look like to you, or what are your goals? That's amazing, amazing. So all this, you guys have changed your social circle, but you also have, who's not there with you today, but your son. Why don't you tell the audience how inspiring you've created in your son and the opportunities that he's brought forth?
So our son has been working with us day in and day out for 3 years, learning about investing. And I will say he hated every minute of it until about a year ago. Right?
Yep, probably.
So we didn't do it properly with our son. I will absolutely admit that our parenting strategy was, you have to come to work with us because we need freaking help at this point.
Yeah.
Right? And so it was like,
it's just the acknowledgement. I love it. You know, like, what are you supposed to do? Leave him at home? You're like, you're coming with me, kid.
That's right. Yeah. So it wasn't until we started to say, you know what? Okay. He is like going to be 13 years old, and we were in panic mode because we're like, we need to teach him about finances. So then we started to, there's no secrets in our house anymore. He knows exactly how much money we make. He knows how much tenants pay. He knows what our expenses are. He had to help us do our taxes last year, right?
Get everything organized.
Which feels like child abuse, sort of, which it kind of is, but we wanted to really make sure he had a full understanding of the, you know, the financial side of it, but how much work and time is put into investing. And that's when he had his, you know, Oprah aha moment, because he started to see the income from our properties. He started to see the benefits of refinancing our properties. And he knows how much our net worth has increased over the past 2.5 years.
Awesome.
And he started to ask Jamie and I if he could buy a property. And we started to say no right off the hop.
Okay.
We don't want your property to impact our ability to qualify for another mortgage is really what we said. And then when we started to get into the commercial stuff, we decided that, you know, there's less chance of a property affecting our ability to qualify as long as it carried itself. So he has bought his own 6-unit building. It's 5 units, but we're turning it into a 6-unit. And all through leveraged investor money. And again, our investor community is amazing, because he had to do the presentation. He has to deal with the realtors and the contractors and all that stuff. It's not going to be something that Jamie and I add to our plate. He did a video, right? We did a Zoom call with our investors. They had his deal financed for him at $400,000 within like 2 hours. It was crazy.
Wow.
So he's learning it all. You know, that's what he wants to do, and we're happy to teach him and guide him, but we're definitely not, we don't give him any money. We'll give him the tips. We'll teach him to do it the way you and I have done it.
Yeah, so like you're teaching him to fish, you're not giving him the fish. So you must have a very different, or the trajectory of your generational wealth. Is that something that's come into your mind to be able to say, how are we going to transition our property? Is that a common thing that you think about?
Yeah, so we have had regular contact discussions with our lawyer and our accountant about it. Mm-hmm. So, you know, that's going to be his property. Once that property is finished, he's going to decide whether he wants to keep it and sell it. He's part of our corporation. When he turns 18, he's going to get so many shares based on how many properties he has. And later in life, he will get all of our properties, whatever we have left. And you know, the other part to it is that he loves to travel as much as we do. So Jamie and I are very conscious about giving him the opportunities to, he doesn't just have to buy real estate in Canada. You know, that's we're in the islands. We're going to buy real estate all over the islands. We're going to have resorts. You know, wherever he wants to be in the world, we just need to be able to teach him that anything is achievable. So,
wow. There you go. Just sit with that for a second. Can you imagine, you know, you're just planting a seed in your child that you're saying, whatever you want this tree to look like, we're just allowing you to know that we're going to be here to fertilize it, and you can become whatever it is you want to be. That's amazing. Just what's next for you guys? What's 2020? So there you are saying you did a 22 and you're like, nope, we're looking for 50. Is it a goal that you set per year, or?
Yeah, so every year is a little bit different. We do vision boards. We've done our vision board, right?
Yeah, we did our vision board.
So the beginning of 2020 is finishing some properties. You know, we're not really necessarily in acquisition mode right now. By the end of the year, though, we would like to see another 50 units probably added. Not necessarily all in Canada. So we're very optimistic about the islands here, Aruba, Bonaire, Curacao. You know, there's stable government, amazing weather, no hurricanes. So we're here doing some research. You know, we're going to be traveling this summer too.
Yeah.
So we're going to, we're doing a bit of a round the world trip, but we're going to be going to Greece. So we're going to be looking at real estate, obviously, while we're in Greece. So yeah, big plans, but you know, it's, we've learned as investors that it's okay not to always be in acquisition mode now.
Oh,
you know? Yeah. And I think that's where a lot of people get really caught up with, you know, I'm an investor, I have to buy, I have to buy, I have to buy. And Jamie and I have done this ourselves. We have 50 something units now that we plan on renovating in the next couple of years, right?
Yeah, there's a lot going on.
Yeah. So we're okay with not being in acquisition mode right now. It's fine with us.
I'll accept that. I'll take that, and I will myself say thank you for the permission to actually just be able to see what's going on. I think it's a really, really important tip to be able to say that you can acknowledge if you're, you know, it's also growth mode. You know, some people are like, oh my gosh, I got 5 years. I need to, you know, you're taking on, not risky, but you're calculating out it's a little bit higher property. It needs a little bit more work. And you can also acknowledge when you're in like stabilization mode, or when you're in like set it and forget it, don't ever call me, that property's just gonna sit there in my portfolio for the next 10-year mode.
Yeah,
really good.
Yeah.
And, you know, although we passed over it, you guys are king and queens of raising capital, of connecting. You know, you've used a lot of good words of, you know, you're ethical, you are, you know, transparent, you're open and honest, sharing all this stuff with your investors. What would be 3 tips to a new investor that's watching us to be able to say, I want to do what Jamie and Leslie did in the how to become somebody who can attract capital to your business?
Yeah. So one of my great friends, lots of people know her, Karen Hayhurst, taught me, first and foremost, the most important thing that you need to do to raise money is build relationships. And she is 100% spot on, right?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, like all of our investors have become our friends. And they know our projects, they know us. You need to be 100% transparent. If somebody wants to know what the numbers are on our properties, I'm going to tell them. If they're an investor, they should know. They should know where their money is. The second thing is communication. So we do communicate what's going on with everything. We try to, you know, reach out to investors every now and then. And once we have an investor, if we have another deal that's coming up, we send messages out, and you know, if they want to be the first ones in on another deal, then that's what we offer, right?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. So relationship.
Where are you connecting with these people? So you're saying build relationships. Is there an amount that you? I know that we have a great network. Is it outside of that network? What are some ways you can penetrate different areas to find those investors?
So when we started, we were only leveraging KeySpire money, right? Yeah. KeySpire money, because we're part of KeySpire, but that's where we were meeting our investors. Now they're coming from everywhere. So we actually turn money away weekly, to be like daily almost now. So because we've been pretty vocal about what we do. People understand that we're using other people's money to buy real estate. They know that we give good interest rates, that we're not, penny pinching on interest rates, because we really feel that if people are helping us buy property, we should be helping them live freely as well. So, I mean, that's just I think that's where the ethics come in for us as well. So
I think when it really changed to start meeting new people, we just started going to all these different real estate investor groups out there, just meeting new people that are interested in real estate. Just start searching up groups and going there and meeting people. I think when we first started, we were going to just try and do everything ourselves. We thought, why give half of our properties away, or let's just do it ourselves. But
bad idea.
That was a terrible idea.
And now that our friends and family know what we're doing, we got a phone call yesterday. Hey, the bank just gave me a pre-approval for $20,000 line of credit. Can you do something with that? So it starts to come to you if you build those relationships. You talk about it. If people know that you're passionate about real estate and you're passionate about helping people, build their own wealth through lending money, then the money starts to flow to you. It does. You put it out there to the universe, and if you have good intentions, it's going to come back to you 10 times. So
you guys, you ooze enthusiasm of real estate. You would walk into a room. I know I say to people that if we ever talk about the weather, now don't get me wrong, I'd probably ask about the weather where you are, but that would just be out of curiosity. But, if we ever talk about the weather, it's one of the lowest forms of conversation that I have. Something tells me, you walk into a room full of real estate investors, just like you sit around that dinner table, and it's super high level. Like, what's your next deal? How are you financing it? What are some creative ways? I have a gentleman that has asked as a question, where do you buy your first property? So what would you say to a new investor that is looking for their first property, and where they might be able to find it, and how they might be able to get that first one under their belts?
Okay, well, first off, I love this question. I love it. So the very first thing that I think anybody needs to do is get an investor-focused realtor. We always talk about investor-focused mortgage brokers. You need that as well. You need an investor-focused realtor, because any regular realtor that you go to doesn't necessarily understand the crazy mindset us investors have. So, and I definitely have my favorite realtors out there. Depending on the area though, any investor-focused realtor will actually help you run the numbers to make sure that it's going to align with your long-term goals as well as your short-term goals, right?
Yeah. Our first property was in Woodstock, if that's what he's asking.
Yeah.
Okay.
We own properties, we just tried to stay fairly close to our home, within 45 minutes of our home, which is kind of between Brantford and Woodstock. But that was our strategy, just so we could be on site to manage the renovations and stuff.
Yeah.
Some people like to. Some people like to go where the prices is low.
That?
What do you look at from compared to the lowest prices that you can get compared to, like, what some people say, well, does the 1% rule work? And I was like, is that even what we're looking for? Or like you said, we need to be able to drive to it. So you possibly are paying a little bit more money for it. What are some of the factors you look for in a market that you would go into?
Ours, honestly, is our return on investment. Even when we're looking at apartment buildings, most investors are looking at cap rates. I don't care about a cap rate. Honestly, how much am I going to make off of this in the next 3 years? That's what I care about. If it hits my number, great. Mine and Jamie's number, is cash on cash. We have to make more cash on a property than we would if we had it in private lending, or what's the point? We have to have, a lot of people starting out, I think we said, if anything, over 25% ROI was a good number for us. Now, I mean, we wouldn't even look at 25% ROI. So, you know, return on investment. What do you want to see? And then find those properties. The deals do come along.
Yeah.
And once you know how to look, just keep running numbers on properties. Once you know how to look, don't worry about what the purchase price is. We could care less about a purchase price at this point. And I know that some people struggle because of budgets. You know, find a market that you can afford and just work your numbers straight with an investor-focused realtor that will help you through the process.
That's important. And I know that I've picked up the phone before in a new market and this gentleman said, oh, I've sold investment properties before. And I'm thinking, you didn't answer my question correctly. Like, just because you've sold them in the past does not mean that you are an investor specific realtor. So probably some of those groups that are local, you would find that investor specific realtors will be at these meetups or these groups. Those would definitely be a good place to be able to find somebody who knows how to run the numbers the same way that you're looking to run the numbers.
Yeah, absolutely. Yep. Or just put it out on any of the investor focused Facebook groups, you know?
Okay. So how can people get a hold of you? Where can we follow some of the progress and your mindset and your everything? Where can people go to be able to find Jamie and Leslie?
So we have we actually have a new website, which we just got up and running a few weeks ago, actually. So it's collaredproperties.ca. And then you can follow us on Facebook on Collared Properties. It's been a little bit slow on that Facebook page lately because we were in personal growth mode for a little bit. So we took a little bit of time away from social media. And then also our son his project has finally just started. So you can follow him at The Teenage Investor on Facebook.
The Teenage Investor.
Yeah, he's going to start posting his videos and progress of his property there too. So I have to give a look to him. So
that's awesome. That's awesome. Well, I thank you guys. I know we haven't necessarily had too much time, but I know that our circles say, oh my gosh, you remind me of Leslie. And, you know, do you know these people? I was like, yeah, I do. I love it.
Yeah, thank you. Thanks for inviting us. And it's really great. And anybody can reach out anytime. I mean, you know, just like I know you like to help investors and people get into the game. Jamie and I are the same. So, you know, ask questions, whatever. Yeah.
We're a pretty open industry, that's for sure. So I thank you very much for taking the time away from your vacation. I'd love to see some updates to be able to say how your purchases are going. I did hear about possibly something going on Saturday that you're sharing with people. I don't know if it's an open invite or not. Facebook if it is. So thank you, everybody.
Okay,
this is
great.
Mandy Brenham signing out for another episode of The Full-Time Investor. Jamie and Leslie, thank you so much for being our guests today. I know that you've inspired me, and I'm going to take away a few little tidbits with me. And I will see you next week on another episode. Thanks, everybody.